Hi, how's it going? I'm very excited about this lesson. I came up with it this weekend. Um, you are going to have the next couple of weeks to get this. You'll get it on Wednesday, so it'll probably actually be like a week and a half. So this is going to be due on December 18th. You are going to make a gingerbread house out of graham crackers, which is going to be your metal, and frosting, which is going to be your electrode. I'm going to do another little video series on how this is going to work. But I'm just going to go through this packet really quick with you. And first thing we're going to talk about, the whole purpose of this assignment is to get you guys thinking about different weld joints, different positions that you can weld in, and a couple different techniques. Most of you have been using circles right now, or kind of like the back and forth crescent moon shape. But anyways, that's the whole purpose of this. So I'm going to go through a little mini lesson on some weld joints and positions for you. When you're watching it right now on Edpuzzle, but you're going to watch a video on Edpuzzle to get into the Christmas spirit, because I don't know if you guys noticed, but I am wearing my Pugly sweater today. Very exciting. And then you're going to watch it also to get the directions that you need. You will have one worksheet to fill out, which is right in this packet. That's going to be worth, it's 26 points. I didn't correct this yet. And it's about different weld joints and positions that you're going to use on your actual graham cracker gingerbread house. You're also going to have to send me a picture of your house when it's done, so I know that you did it. And so I can see how much fun you had with it. I know you guys are just jumping for joy on the other end of this camera right now. And otherwise, I'm hoping this is going to be a fun activity for you. I know some of us have been in kind of a weird mood lately with everything going on, not being able to come into school. So I'm just hoping that this is kind of a fun activity for you guys to lead up to Christmas. This is going to be worth, it says 50 here, but 51 points, because that I forgot to change that 25 point there. Okay, so here, a little twist. If you decorate your house when it's all finished, and the frosting I bought today was like the funfetti frosting. Some of you are getting the funfetti I think all of you are. The funfetti frosting. So you already have some sprinkles with your frosting. But I will do a class contest if I get a lot of you giving me awesome pictures with it decorated. I'm going to show you just a real simple way to make it, but I mean, I encourage you guys to like go crazy with this. It's actually kind of soothing. I did this activity with my kids over the weekend, and I seriously just sat there like running my weld beads with the frosting for like 20 minutes because it was like just self-soothing. So I'm going to do a contest to see who can get the most creative. I don't care how you decorate it. If you want it to be shop related or fishing related or hunting related, I don't care. I just want to see how creative you guys can get. I think this will be fun if you guys get into it. And then the top 3 winners are going to get 10 extra credit points. So if you have them at home, put on your ugly sweaters, get some hot cocoa, and blast the Christmas music to get ready for this amazing welding project of a lifetime. And you can push pause right now if you needed to go do those things. Otherwise, I'm going to move on. So, overview. Again, watch this video that you are watching right now to go over all this stuff. So, we've been welding mostly in the flat position, right? So, I didn't bring an electrode over here, but flat position is flat on the table with your electrode like this, right? Or I guess at a little bit of an angle. We are going to be frosting or welding in a bunch of different positions, doing both doing both weld types and using a few of the different weld joints with the graham cracker house. So There are two main types of welds, and they are a fillet weld and a groove weld. Okay, so we will get more into that in a second. But there are 4 different positions that you can weld in. Okay, so if you guys can see the pictures here. All right, we've got the flat position. This is also a flat position, this groove over here. Horizontal, so here's a horizontal fillet, and here's a horizontal groove. Vertical, okay, so that would be with it standing on end like this, and you're moving your electrode up and down. Same thing with the groove, up and down. And then overhead, so you would be welding above you in overhead position. So that's this one for a fillet weld, this one for a groove weld. There are 5 different types of weld joints. Notice that the fillet welds, so the F down here, okay, you see that there's a G, G, F, F, G. So those ones that say F are the T-joint and the lap joint. Those are the only 2 weld joints that are fillets. The other ones are grooves, so a butt joint, the corner joints, and the edge joint. You are filling in a groove. That's why it is called a groove joint. The fillet, you're kind of like filling in that extra space right there. Okay, so that's why that's a fillet. Very technical terminology. I know I just gave you some really great definitions. But these are, they're showing you here in the flat position, what it would look like in the horizontal position, in the vertical position, and in the overhead position. So I'm just going to, before I move on to that stuff in the bottom there, I have a couple in front of me. I only have the lap, the butt, and the T. I do not have a corner or edge joint to show you, but this will be good enough for now. So if you look here, I have a lap in my hand. So we will look in this column right here. All right, so if I hold it in, I'm going to try and position it the same way that you are seeing on the screen. This is, sorry, nope, it was this way, wasn't it? Nope, it wasn't. Okay, well, anyways, a lap joint in the flat position. So you might think that this is flat right here, but actually it's kind of funny because this, when it's tilted up like this, is the flat position for a lap and for a T-joint. The horizontal position is actually opposite when it's kind of flat on the table. So that's kind of confusing, but you're welding more horizontally here than you would be in this position. So that's why they're kind of backwards. Okay, so vertical lap would be if I were to weld. This would be a vertical. If I was moving up, it would be called a vertical up. If I was going down, up to down, it would be called a vertical down. And you can do either way depending on what you are welding on, what kind of rods you're welding with, what kind of metal you're welding on, and that's something to get into at a later point in time. And then overhead would be if I flip this over and I was underneath welding like this. All right, so a butt, everybody laughs when you say butt joint, but no pun intended. Okay, this is a bad example of alignment here. You can see how this one is way far out of alignment. They didn't, whoever welded this one did not tack them together correctly, but I think it was just for a quick practice run, so whatever. Flat position butt would be flat on the table. Horizontal would be if I flipped it like this and I was welding like this if my finger was the electrode. Vertical would be up and down like this. Again, vertical up, vertical down, and overhead. So if I was welding from underneath. Okay, and here we have a T-joint. This is actually a multi-pass, so there is 3 passes on here. We'll get into that at a later point. But this would be, again, awkward. Sorry, it's really weird trying to get this aligned with the camera. This would be the flat position, okay? Because my bead is getting laid flat. So that would be how that would be considered. When it's flat on the table like this, confusing, I know, but now this is actually the horizontal position for a T-joint. Flip it like this, and we've got our vertical up, vertical down, and then again, overhead if I had it upside down like this and I was welding from underneath. So one thing I want to point out is you guys may have noticed that there is a number and a letter attached to each of them. We already talked about the letters. So the F means fillet in the T-joint here and the lap joint. The G is for a groove joint. Now let's talk about the numbers quick, okay? It's not anything special. We've already kind of talked about it, but we will. So 1 means you're welding in the flat position. So that's why here in this row, all of them start with 1, whether they are a groove or a fillet, or if it's a butt or a T or an edge, doesn't matter. They are all going to be signified by number 1 because you're going to be welding in the flat position. Number 2, you guessed it, horizontal position, okay? So number 3, again, good, vertical position, up and down or down and up, however you want to say it. And 4 is for overhead. Now, you cannot move on to this worksheet until you have made your gingerbread house, okay? Which is going to be the next part of the video. I want to go over this worksheet first, though, since I'm in the process of talking about the packet. So labeling your graham cracker welds. You're going to watch the video first. Crazy. And then you're going to make your house, and then you're going to fill in this worksheet. You also are going to label and draw a picture of each of your welds, okay? I'm going to do the first one for you so that you know what to do. Each of the labels is worth 2 points, and each picture is worth 3 points. Number 6, 7, and 8 is going to be worth 2 points also. So, number 1. These bells are driving me crazy. Is the base of your gingerbread house, okay? So what I mean by that is you're going to get a paper plate, and you are going to get a milk carton. The milk carton is for you to frost on your graham cracker sides too, okay? What I want to know is what is the kind of weld that you're going to be making around the outside of the base of your gingerbread house. Okay, so it is going to be a 2F. It is going to be, let's come back up here. Okay, so you think of a base of a building or whatever. Okay, so oops, I went too far, sorry. So I'm going to find my number 2 row, which is right here. Okay, and it's going to be 2F. And I didn't finish filling it out down there. But it's going to be a T-joint because you have the base and then you've got the wall like this. Okay, so then you would be filling in like right there where my hand was. And that would be a T-joint. And when you get this, it'll say T-joint here. And there's going to be a picture drawn here for you as well, so you know what I'm talking about. You're also going to tell me what the walls of your gingerbread house are. So what I mean by that is I should change that to say the corner of your walls. What kind of a joint is that going to be? The flat pieces of your roof. You may have, so what I mean by this is you might have to put a couple different pieces together. So what kind of a joint would that be? Roof pieces after welding them onto the house. So when they're in this position here, I'm talking about what would this joint be up here. And then number 5, underside of the roof. So where the roof attaches to the sides of your building. What would this joint be right here? You'd have to be kind of coming up from underneath. Okay, and then we've got question number 6. What other kind of weld techniques did you use or do, or what other kind of joints? Please explain or draw a picture. What was the favorite part of this assignment? I'm sure it was this video. And then what was the worst part of this assignment? Please don't say this video, but if you do, I don't really care. So that is that. I am going to move on to the very exciting part of making the gingerbread house now. I hope you guys have a good day. I probably shouldn't say that yet. We're moving on to the gingerbread house. I lied, you guys. I forgot I was going to have you watch a couple videos. So real quick, they're only like a minute and 30 seconds each, and there's only 2 of them. This is going to be showing you, he's MIG welding here, which we have not done yet, but he's going to be showing you the horizontal T-joint. So that would be this position right here. And the next one is going to show you the vertical T-joint, just to show you what these things might look like in the shop.
Tack 2 plates together to form a T-joint for this weld. Use a work angle of 45 degrees and a travel angle of 15 to 30 degrees. As you travel down the plate, maintain a 3/8 to 1/2 inch contact tip to work distance. Establish the weld. Use a push angle to travel down the joint, keeping the weld puddle centered in the joint. The weld should have distinct ripples with some spatter and a slightly flat to convex profile.
Okay, and this one would be our vertical, I think it was up. Oh, sorry, vertical down.
Tack 2 plates together to form a T-joint for this weld. Use a work angle of 45 degrees and a travel angle of 5 to 15 degrees. Establish the weld puddle. Use a drag angle to travel down the plate, keeping the weld puddle centered in the joint. As you travel down the plate, maintain a 3/8 to 1/2 inch contact tip to work distance.
All right, I will see you for the gingerbread house.